What's the deal? It's your boy, Mistah Will. And you are now tuned in to Wilson Block of Thou Wow, you know what I mean? Here on the Seattle music scene, we got an honorary guest on the block with us today, DJ Peg 206, or is it just DJ Peg?
It's DJ Peg 206
Let's
from
go.
Seattle.
No doubt, no doubt.
What's up?
Hey, man, it's an honor to have you here with us for this exclusive interview, you know what I'm saying?
Thanks, man.
You know, we set it up a couple days ago, you know what I'm saying? And ain't nothing like a plan coming together, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
People show up on time, like 15 minutes early, you know what I mean? I was over here getting things ready, like, all right, boom, and he on point, you know what I'm saying?
Man. Yeah.
So, yeah, man, for our audience, man, go ahead and just hit us with a quick background.
All right, man. So, born and raised in Seattle. Man, so, you know, man, I was a kid that came up from a bad neighborhood. If anybody know the South End, my mom lived in the heart of the South End.
Uh-oh.
And so, man, I just running around doing kid shit. Hold up, bro. My bad.
Oh, yeah.
This, you gonna chop it up later?
You good? Nah, we good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, so like I said, man, grew up in a rough neighborhood, and then I had to find something to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just something. I didn't want to be in a gang,
Right.
even though those was my homies, right? You know what I mean?
That's not what you wanted for yourself,
right.
You know what I mean?
And then so my brother, who was a DJ in LA,
Okay.
KDAY.
Okay, K-Day, let's
Yeah,
go.
okay. Back in '85.
Okay.
So my brother was a DJ, but what happened was, man, when I was about 9 years old, he played the Off the Wall album by Michael Jackson.
Uh-huh.
And then, you know, we're 10 years apart, so that was a big deal that my 19-year-old brother wanted to hang out with me. That was 9.
Right, hell yeah.
And then he played the Off the Wall album,
Uh-huh.
and we listened to that together, and I was like, oh, okay. I started getting into music.
Right.
Then came the, Sugar Hill Gang. That was 1979.
Okay.
Then I really started getting into music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then my brother was just cool as fuck. Like, all the girls liked him. He was fly. I wanted to be that guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I would hang out with him, learn how to DJ and stuff. And then he had moved to L.A. So when he moved to L.A., I was still in Seattle.
Okay, yeah. Real quick, while we talking about Seattle, because you say you came, dangerous neighborhood, South End. I mean, what block we talking? You know what I mean? What area of the South End? We talking Rainier Beach, Othello?
Okay, Rainier Beach.
Okay,
I'm originally from, if anybody knows Seattle, Martin Luther King Way Martin Luther King Way and Graham.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's where my mom is.
Got the McDonald's on the corner.
Right, but it wasn't McDonald's back then.
Right.
I used to be a Radio Shack.
Oh wow! Trip
So,
out. See,
yeah.
man, it's a whole new city today.
Right. You know what I mean?
Dang.
But I went to school at South Shore, which is in Rainier Beach.
Okay.
So I had to walk from, there wasn't no bus, so I had to walk from either catch the bus or walk from my mom's house to school, which was South Shore. So that's, if you know Rainier Beach,
Right.
That's right on Rainier and Henderson. That's
right.
Yeah.
So, and we talking like, well, what decade we talking here? You know
we're talking 70s, 80s.
70s, 80s Seattle.
Right.
Wow. Yeah. So a lot of stuff wasn't here yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Like I'm 53, so.
Okay. Got you.
Right.
Okay. So you basically like my dad's age. You know what I mean?
Right.
So basically back then, I mean, having to walk through the neighborhoods back then was a big deal. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because, it was, not to say, it was a little more primitive. You know what I mean? Back
exactly.
then, we didn't have, technology and even just what it was like in the 90s. You know what I mean? Where, and so you survived that.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
So tell me what it was like growing up over there.
Bro, I mean, it was fun. People get shit twisted. We had fun. We didn't know shit was bad, right?
Right.
We had fun. So,
I got the water right there.
Right. So, we had fun. We did typical little knucklehead shit.
Right,
you know what I mean? So, I had fun. And, like I said, everybody that I went to school with then, the ones that are still alive or not locked up, we're still cool to this day.
Oh, right.
Because I've always been a cool cat, man. I never played sides.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was, the graffiti artist, break dancer.
Okay.
Rapping during the school lunches.
Right.
I was that guy.
Okay.
B-boy.
Right.
I was a B-boy.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So I mean, you've been doing hip hop.
Oh, shit.
Every facet of this shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what I mean?
So real quick, South Shore, where is that?
South Shore is literally on Rainier Henderson, like dead smack Rainier Beach.
But now that's Rainier Beach High, ain't it?
No, South Shore is still there, but I think it's called the Rainier Community Center.
Okay, yeah. It's connected to the school?
Right.
Yeah.
So, but that Rainier Community Center used to be South Shore.
Okay, I see.
Right.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
Times have changed.
Right. So, like I said, I I went there, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I had to walk to school. Now, mind you, I never got in too much trouble because I was the cool kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I knew, I can say it now that I'm older, I knew I never wanted to gangbang, bro. Like, that just wasn't me. Right. I knew that. You know what I mean?
And then you also seen some examples, right? From your peers and, you know what I mean, other dudes in your generation.
Right.
Right, where it's like, okay, I don't want that from me.
Yeah,
he in trouble. You know what I mean?
But I always cool with them, never judged them.
Right.
Half them cats to this day, man, they know, oh, Peg ain't with it.
That ain't him. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, you know, even for someone like me, you know, coming up in you know, these gangster liberal towns, you know what I mean? Where, you know, you're inclined to be that way. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have like a sense of direction about yourself, you know what I mean?
Right. And see, that's why I was.
But see, people respect you for not perpetrating. You
right.
know what I mean? They respect you for staying in your lane and being who you are. And,
right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why, you know, you still got that respect today.
Right, you know what I'm saying? And I definitely stuck up for myself, too.
Yeah, for sure, huh? He wasn't no punk, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no pushover over here, you know what I mean? I may not be the hardest nigga in the yard, you know what I mean? But you want to try, nigga.
Right.
It ain't about to just go down like that, you feel me?
Exactly.
No doubt. I don't want to spend too much time on the town, but, you know, it's the Wilson block. I like to hear about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially because I miss much of that era, you know what I mean? Particularly for me, like you know, I would call it, you know, 04 to 08, you know what I mean? I was 14, 18, you know what I'm saying? Right. I missed the whole Sonics era, you know what I mean? So I came to Seattle humbled, like, all right, look, man, when I was at the Key Arena, I was like, oh, wow, it's the Key Arena. Oh, yeah, because you heard, you know, just being in LA, being a sports fan, you hear about the Key Arena, and I was like, oh, wow, I'm here. You know what I mean? But I missed the team, though. You know, they was already gone, so.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just like to...
In L.A. and, you know, the Lakers and Sonics used to have some epic battles.
Man, I mean, what a dope rivalry that was, man. I mean, the Sonics were, you know, just the whole brand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then...
Because here goes, I'm going to give you a little sports history.
Yeah.
If Magic didn't join the Lakers, we probably would have went back-to-back. See, we won the championship before Magic got on. Literally, we won.
What, 91? What was that? Not 91.
No, we won it in 79.
79, yeah.
And the Lakers won it in 80.
Well, y'all went again in 91 and lost.
No, we didn't even make it because by that time, Magic and everybody, you know how our teams, you know, they...
So y'all went to the Western Conference with the Lakers in 91?
I think so.
Yeah.
No, I think so in 91.
Right.
But I'm talking about 79, though. The Lakers weren't that good. That's how they got Magic in the first place.
Right.
But then they came back and just... Them and the Boston was killing everybody after
that. Man, I can't stand ball. You know, sometimes I wish, like, I be feeling bad for the Knicks. Because I be like, I wish the Knicks had Boston's record. You know what I mean? Because, you know, New York Knicks, you know what I mean? You want them to be good. It's good for the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Boston is just like, come on, man. I never liked their floor. You know what I'm saying? And that's something I've been wanting to talk about, you know, with Magic Johnson and the whole point guard debate. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like, look, why everybody got to slight the small forward position? Like, every time the small forward gets some legendary generational talent, y'all want to call him some other position. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's just like, respect the small forward position, man. That position is, we've seen some of the best talent we've ever seen in the world, right? Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, them was two guards, respectively. You know what I'm saying? I just think it's a slight to other point guards and the small forward position itself when we put Magic Johnson in. No doubt he could push the ball. We get it. You know what I mean? But you is a small forward, my dude. You know what I mean? And let's just... Because, look, man, most point guards are just not that damn tall.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? So
handles and...
Come on.
Vision.
So they try to say, you know, LeBron's a point. You know, I'm just like, look, dude, we not doing this. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you know, they great dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So yeah, let's get into the music. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to take too much time on one thing. Because look, we already 10 minutes in, and you know I give up to an hour, and I'm
here.
Yeah.
I ain't got no place to be. So
right on. All right, so the music. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you started telling me your big brother. You know what I'm saying? What was it that actually got you into, you know, doing music yourself, whether it was, you know, writing songs, not so much just hip hop, the other different elements, but the music.
Okay, so two things. Back, like I said, my brother, and then I'm hearing all this dope shit, especially from hip hop, right? And then, like I said, I heard Rapper's Delight. But what got me turned on to hip hop is when I heard Suck MCs by Run DMC. That was it. It was over.
He was like, yeah, nigga, that.
Right, that was
That's
it.
what we on right there.
that was it. Like like I wanted to be an artist at first. You know, I used to draw and shit. Okay. I heard that. I didn't want to do art no more, bro. My mom was even disappointed. My mom
so you was doing that before the music?
Oh, yeah. Wow. Like, I was a graffiti artist and everything. But when I heard that, I was like, whatever that is, that's what I want to be. I got to be in hip-hop some type of way.
Right.
And then that's what turned me on. And then after that, you know, I started DJing. So I've been DJing since 85.
Oh, heavy.
Yeah.
Oh, so you got crates.
Oh, yeah. I've been DJing.
You gotta show me some stuff, man. Right. You know what I mean? You gotta show me some stuff.
So yeah, so I was DJing in 85, and man, you know, I was the hood DJ, like
right.
You know, so I lived in the Crip neighborhood. Right?
Oh wow!
So
it was Crips in the South End.
Oh yeah. So you know, I used to they used to throw house parties, but they always looked out for me. So it was kind of like they only paid me like $30 or $40, but you know, I wanted to be the cool kid. You know what I mean?
Right.
DJ for these guys, but they looked out for me. Anytime I had a problem, man, leave him alone.
Right.
You know, he ain't with that shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, like I said, I started DJing, had all the dope songs back in the day. And then I had a friend, I don't want to mention his name, but we started a rap group.
Okay.
And so we was making demos and everything, and he ended up going to prison.
Oh, wow.
And so I said, in order for me to keep the music alive, I started rapping. So a lot of people don't know this. So you one of the few people.
So he was the rapper. You was just producing?
I was the DJ. He was the rapper.
Oh, okay.
Bottom line.
Right.
We wasn't, you know, we was rapping.
Well, back then, we didn't have Fruity Loops on the laptop back then.
So we would rap over the B side of, you know, the instrumentals of the beats.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So you talking about cassettes though?
No, I had vinyl.
Oh, right. Okay, excuse me, DJs.
Yeah.
Right.
I had vinyl.
They had instrumentals on cassette, but
I had vinyl, and then you know, but we would record on cassette.
Right.
But you know, and then we were just making songs for the hood. You know
right.
We wasn't trying to, you know, just
make a commercial hit. Like
we just making shit for the hood, right? And then what happened was my homeboy, he ended up going to prison, and they smacked him with 5. So I said, okay, I'm gonna just rap. I wasn't even trying to be a rapper, so I'll just rap. You know, just
keep it alive.
Keep it alive. Yeah. So I was rapping to keep it alive, and once again, very few people know the story. I ended up getting a fucking record deal.
An inadvertent record deal.
I was even trying to get a record deal, right? So I ended up getting a record deal, and then when I got the record deal, I'm gonna keep it all the way funky with you, bro. So I was out in the streets, right? And I cut my first record because I ended up doing a little bit of time. You know, you got time on your hands, you're gonna write an album.
For sure.
You know, I wrote some dope ass shit.
Let's go.
You know, and I got out. I did like a year, and I got out. And so when I got out, they was like, "Oh man, you're dope. We never heard nothing like this before." So they cut me a record deal. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna get back to that. The album was called Best from the Northwest, and it was like me, Rob Ross, my homeboy Gene, right? The picture is actually taken, I don't know how my manager at the time, but I actually have handcuffs behind my back when they took the picture. So some kind of way I was on house arrest, and my manager worked it. He was like, oh no, he has a job. He needs to go take this picture for his job. I swear to God, bro. If I find that picture,
handcuffs,
yeah.
That's heavy.
So anyway,
you couldn't release that back then because, like, you
know. No, I mean the picture, but I mean, you know, I'm like this, so nobody.
You can't really tell, but yeah.
So anyway, so I end up getting a 3-album record deal.
Oh wow!
And then I was making money back then, bro. So it was one of those things.
Did you actually sign?
Oh yeah.
There was a bonus?
No, you know, it's like, you know, they didn't give you it was a local record. I don't want to say their name. It was a local record company. You know, they ain't gonna give you $50,000 in advance. That
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I end up I signed for 3 albums.
Excuse me. So back then it was mainly just the studio time.
Studio time.
They were sponsoring.
And they'll put out the CD. And,
right.
No, they did other projects. So,
okay.
So they were legit.
Right.
But you know, but as far as getting in advance, it's kind of like how Griselda is. You know, them guys, when they signed to Griselda, they didn't get no advance. They were just, you know, you're my cousin, I'm going to sign with you, and then we'll blow up together. It was that type of mentality.
Okay.
Right. So like I said, 3-album record deal. I did the math in my head. I was like, let me see. So we're talking 15 songs, 45 songs to do 3 albums. I was like, nah, I'm cool. And just never made a song, bro. Didn't make shit.
For any of that deal?
Didn't make a song.
So what ended up happening?
Nothing. They just, you know, fuck it.
They dropped you off the label?
I guess so.
When there was no bonus to, there was nothing to recoup. You know what I mean? Right.
And I kind of looked at it as, I was making money at the time, so I kind of felt like,
don't really need it.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't, you know.
It didn't make or break nothing.
Right,
you know
exactly.
What I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so then, like I said, man, then after that, was in the streets. And then I could tell you right now, man, 2004, man, I was looking at 5 years in prison.
Uh-oh.
And then by the grace of God, I beat the case. And then I just said, man, my life got to change. And then I went back that I was a DJ. And then I just, that hustle mentality in me, started DJing, bro. And then
like full time?
Full time. That was 2004, man. And then I just put all my hustling, you know, I mean, I got skills, don't get it twisted, but it was the whole, I know how to go get a gig. And I just started DJing, man. And then from there, man, I took off, bro. And
so the DJing, so the rapping never really took off like that.
No.
Okay, so it's always been the DJ.
Right.
Okay, right on. And so when you were DJing back then, was it all like local stuff back then, or were you hitting like top 40 shit, or how
it was I would say all the hood shit back then. Right?
Okay, right on.
Underground shit.
So you had the records though. You had the local hip hop gangster rap records though, right?
But see, local rappers back then, it was hard to get local rappers on vinyl.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It was an expense.
Right.
Yeah.
So I didn't have I couldn't play your tape, right? I had to have you either cut vinyl or I couldn't do it, right?
Oh, wow, right.
So,
so you were limited in your variety.
Yeah, so I remember Silver Shadow D, I got his vinyl. Squeak Nutty Bug, I got his vinyl. Conception Records always had vinyl. But, you know, when you're on two turntables, you're limited, right?
Yeah.
It ain't like now. You can go get somebody's shit, stream it, or, hey, send me that MP3.
Right.
Make it a little different, right?
Right.
But as time got progressed, so we'll say, well, around 2000 and around the 2000s, people was making CDs.
Yeah.
Now I could put your songs on mixtapes.
Right.
So
now, you were doing mixtapes.
Oh hell yeah!
Let's go.
That's where you know what I mean.
Man,
I still make mixtapes to this day.
Come on, listen. So you know, for the record, man, is the mixtape circuit dead?
Yes,
it is dead.
It is dead. It's not like it used to be. It's not completely dead.
Right.
But like,
I mean, because it's cats like you and me that keep it alive.
Right.
Know, I do mine in my own little way. I may not DJ mixtapes like full fledged like you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But so this is what it is, man. The bottom line is streaming just killed it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, motherfuckers put their own playlist now or go find new cats know music before I do. Right. It was the opposite back in the day. Back in the day, I had the hot shit. Now, motherfucker, you heard this? Boom. I'm like, damn. It came out 2 hours ago, right?
Right.
Like, I can't keep up. Plus, music is so saturated right now, bro.
It absolutely
is. Nuts. Like, back in the day, there might have been, and we'll just talk a local. We'll say back then there was maybe 20 rappers from the town popping, right? There's probably 100 motherfuckers right now.
On the low end.
Right.
Like Seattle?
Right.
Come on, bro.
Everybody's
every
rapping.
Every time I look up, there's a new, and you know, the generations come, so it really makes it a smoke, you know, gives it a little smoke screen, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seattle got, I'd say 1,000.
Right, you know what I'm saying? And then you got to sift through that to see who's dope.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because people send me music all the time. First of all, I never tell a cat he's whack because I just don't think they can handle the truth. They think you're hating.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not hating on you. I'm trying to give you, and I don't say it rude, but like, hey, man, you might want to do this, tweak that.
Right.
So I don't even do that no more.
Yeah.
But if you're dope, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to throw on my mixtape. I've been doing mixtapes with local rappers since 1996, bro.
Let's go.
You know what I mean? So that's what I've been doing.
Right. And so you say streaming killed it.
Oh, yeah.
So, because I was looking at Dat Piff. They still ain't got back on board with the streaming. They still have the old-ass weather. Now with some other shit talking about, you know, to be determined what they're going to do, you know. Particularly streaming versus download, you know, I have a strong opinion about it.
Okay.
How do you feel, particularly about streaming versus the digital download? You know what I mean? Because with the digital download, you can download it to your native device. Right. You can listen to it on repeat if you want. You can do whatever you want with it, right? With streaming, it's like, okay, if I want to hear the song 3 times in a row, because I got to hear an ad, and then, you know, the ad is almost as long as the damn song, you know what I mean? And it's just, I don't like to listen to music like that. Me
personally, I like to download music because I want to have it.
Right, exactly.
It's mine.
Right.
Now, of course, I'm a DJ. I don't pay for my music. I used to.
Yeah.
But even when I did, I'd rather pay 99 cents, get my song, it's mine.
Right.
I keep it. It's my shit.
You have the physical the actual MP3. You know what I mean?
Right.
That actually means something. You can do a whole lot with that.
Plus, I can get rare shit, like, because everything ain't streamed, bro. Trust me on that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I might take vinyl, make an MP3. Now, you ain't got it, but I got that.
Right.
Because I'm that guy. I want to have shit that you ain't never heard before.
Right. So are you pressing your own vinyl?
Nah, I don't do that.
That's a whole nother level, man. Right. That's top level for you, man. Like, it's probably the only where else to go now. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So, but what I do right now, well, like, back to your question, I think me personally, and I'm older, I like to, have MP3s, physical things, right? But the new generation, everything's microwave. They want it fast. And
everything's microwave.
Yeah, they got their phone, man. They can get their shit like this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That gratification, that instant gratification.
Right. They don't care about the ads, bro. They don't care. Right. They don't care about that.
It's all a short movie to them.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's all entertainment. It all looks good. You know what I mean?
So they don't care about the ads. And now you can YouTube, Spotify. Man, you can get your music all types of ways. SoundCloud. And it's just easier for them. But also, I think they got a shorter attention span, too.
For sure.
I don't think songs, you might get a good song. That might last 3 or 4 summers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You get a song now, 3 months.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the attention span ain't there no more. You know what I mean?
Right. And then also, everything just went to EPs.
Yeah.
Like, you're not seeing a 16-song, 18-song. And see, to me, 18 songs was a solid album.
Right.
18 songs.
Yeah.
I respected the 18-song LP so much that when I was dropping my mixtapes, look, 27 songs.
Right.
And I would put as many songs on it so you couldn't deny me that $5 I was asking for.
See?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you talking. Yeah.
Like, I got 22 joints on here for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, these days, it's like, you just be lucky to see 10.
You know how many songs I put on my mixtape? Between 12 and 16.
Thank you.
You know why? Because they're not, I look at it as an A side of a mixtape, right? Mm-hmm. An A side of a mixtape for 30 minutes, 45 minutes.
Okay.
That's what I look at. So I'm giving you the A side of a mixtape because people they're not going to listen to it. Even though I can fill it up with joints. They're just not doing it. You know what I mean?
Well, I will admit, man, that there's not too many albums in hip hop, in my opinion. Maybe I can't speak for the stuff I ain't heard yet.
Right.
But for every hip hop album that I've listened to, there's not many that you can actually listen from top straight to bottom. Right. There's always some album fillers in there. Right. You know what I mean?
Shit, I can only think of Outkast, Southern Playlistic Music, Nas's Illmatic.
I gotta challenge the Illmatic. First and foremost. I'm born in '90s, so Stillmatic is my Illmatic.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
But honestly, I think Illmatic is overrated. I think the production, it's not it doesn't have the commercial appeal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's definitely underground.
Yeah, it was underground. So it was just like, come on, man. The album was good, but it wasn't that great.
Now let me break it down to you. Why?
Compared to one of his anniversary editions of Illmatic, where it had some better production, in my opinion. Okay,
so here's why, as an older rapper, older hip hop head, we never heard nothing like Illmatic when it came out. So it's a nostalgic thing. So Stillmatic might be better as far as production, but we never heard a motherfucker rapping about being broke. We never heard that before. You know what I mean? Like, that blew. He wasn't braggadocious. It was
real.
It was real. Everything he rapped about was real, and his lyrics back then, like. Come on, man. Half man, half amazing.
Let's go.
Man, like, the shit he was saying there. Yeah. And then what's funny is, also, I met him before he dropped Illmatic. I actually met him. He did a show in Seattle for Flavor Magazine.
Okay.
He was humble, bro. His tooth was still chipped.
Right.
Nappy hair. Matter of fact, when he rocked on the stage, he put on a hoodie, bro. Killed it. And I was just like, okay. So it might be more of a nostalgic thing than it is a fact that one might be better than the other.
Well, honestly, now that you say that, I think it's even more than a nostalgia when you say, look, we didn't hear this before.
Right.
You know what I mean? So as soon as it dropped, this was the greatest.
Right.
You know what I mean? For us.
Right.
You know what I mean? But for me, it's just like, okay, I had to go back and listen to it. You know what I mean? And by that time, I had heard Stillmatic before Illmatic. I'm sorry, hip-hop.
No, man.
You know what I mean?
It's all opinions. Like I was telling somebody the other day. When I first heard Southern Playlistic Cadillac music, I was like, these motherfuckers from Atlanta?
Right.
I never heard this before. Right. Mind you, by the time all these songs I'm talking about or these albums I'm talking about are in like a 4-year span, right? You're talking Illmatic, the Chronic, Southern Playlisted Cadillac Music, right? I'm a fucking E40, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
The Click. You know what I'm saying? The first Click album, I'm sorry, man. That shit was dope. You know, I'm sorry.
Oh, man, so maybe you can explain this to me, man. I've noticed there's something going on between Seattle and the Bay. There's some type of love relationship with the cultures, you know what I mean? To where Seattle artists are familiar with Bay Area hip hop politics and vice versa.
Right. Well, that's because people from the Bay come up here. First of all, it's a 10, 12-hour drive?
Yeah, about an 8-hour drive, more or less.
You know what I'm saying? They come up here. So, like, I met E40 before he blew up. He was right there, fucking, what is that? Othello and Rainier at this place called Zest Hamburgers, literally selling CDs out the back of his truck.
E40.
That is a real, true, that's
a real hustler right there.
Yeah, I bought it, I don't even have it anymore. I bought Mr. Flamboyant.
Oh, wow.
The actual cassette tape.
That's what he was selling, the cassette.
I bought it off of him. Like, literally gave him money for that shit.
How much? We gave him a $5 back then for that?
I think it was 10.
Oh, yeah, back then, come on, albums was $20.
Right.
Albums were not
But
cheap.
I just gave him 10 because I respected the hustle.
Right. So you talking like early 90s?
Man,
late
that
80s?
Had to be 89, 90.
E40 been in the game a minute. I mean, we gotta throw that out there.
I say it was about 89, 90, bro.
Wow.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So he was out here in the streets.
Right.
In Seattle.
Right.
Hustling his shit in the street, hustling his album in the street. E40.
Yeah. And then, mess them guys, like, they come up and they kick it with us. And there's no hatred, you know what I mean? So that's why we have so much respect for them. And then we go down there and it's the same love. They love Seattle cats down there.
No, what about Portland? Y'all just skip it over Portland?
I don't know why, man. I don't have a problem with Portland. I love Portland, man. My homeboy Cool Nuts. I fuck with Cool Nuts down there.
Yeah, I just heard of Cool Nuts.
Yeah, he's dope, man. Check out his catalog. My homeboy DJ Nature.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I fucks with Portland, but I don't know, man. I can't even answer that question. I don't know what it is.
On, man.
Yeah, we don't beef. I don't. Maybe it's a Trailblazers Sonics thing. I don't know.
Right, man.
You know what I'm saying?
But look, a couple years ago, I was at the Seattle Public Library downtown, and I came across this article of this DJ in Alaska, and the headline was, "We're forgotten up here." You know what I mean?
Right.
It was just like, wow, music scene in Alaska. What the fuck going on up there, right?
Right.
Would you consider Alaska the Pacific Northwest?
No.
Why not?
Because it's way up there.
It's way up there.
I mean, you gotta skip over.
That's Pacific North. You know what I mean? That's North Pacific.
You gotta jump over Canada
right.
to get there. But I do consider Vancouver, BC, Pacific Northwest.
Okay, no, respectively. Okay, okay.
And they got some cold people in Vancouver,
right.
bro.
And Vancouver's got, well, first of all, we just gotta Canada's big as fuck.
Right.
I mean, Canada's fucking big. I was just last night, because I'm a courier, so last night I was just looking at the map, and I'm just like, Canada is almost as big as South fucking Africa when you add up all these damn islands and shit.
Right.
The archipelago or whatever they call it. You know what I mean?
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So no doubt. That's good. That's good that you consider, throw BC in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
You got another point you was trying to make on that?
I can't remember, bro.
Okay, yeah, me too. I was just trying
I'm old, man. I get derailed quick.
Right. All right, so look, let's talk about the podcast. You know what I'm saying? Because, fresh out the Northwest, you know what I mean? And honestly, I respect how you put A and the, you know what I mean? That's how we do it too, the Wilson Block, you feel me? Tell me about the podcast and the inspiration behind Northwest instead of just Seattle.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So I'm gonna break it down from how I got started, because I damn, bro, how can I do this so we have a good progression? Okay, so when I first started Fresh Out to Northwest, it wasn't even a podcast, right? I was making mixtapes called Fresh Out to Northwest. And what I was doing was I was putting local artists on it. And so and it was strictly local artists.
Right.
So that's how I got the people from Portland, Vancouver. They would send me music.
Oh, okay.
And so it started off as a mixtape.
Right.
But for some reason, the mixtape just wasn't gaining ground. And I'm one of them people, man, like, if I put my time and effort, energy in something, and you're not giving me that same energy back, I just don't want to do it no more.
Right.
So I'm putting these artists on this mixtape, and then, I'm taking time to tag them and make sure their names are spelled right. I throw out the mixtape, and maybe one or two will be like, oh, cool, and one or two might repost.
Right.
But the rest of them, I don't know if they're prima donna. Maybe they felt like they didn't need my help.
Right.
They wouldn't do anything. Well, they don't realize for me to make a mixtape, you know, you make mixtapes, you got the BPMs got to match, the flow got to match. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if you're doing post, I mean, you got to line it all up.
Right.
I mean, if you're working with, you know, audio boards and MIDIs, you got to make sure that shit's plugged
right.
up. And
right.
I mean, back then,
you know, so it's not an easy thing to make a mixtape.
Right.
And so what happened was I just got frustrated. You know what I'm saying? And then I was just like, all right, man, I don't want to do this no more because it was taking up too much time.
So it was discouraging.
It was taking up too much of my time.
Yeah.
Cats wasn't sending me no more songs.
Yeah.
But I liked the logo. Right, the logo was dope, and I was like, okay, so I'm gonna make clothing out of it. Right, I'll start off with a clothing brand because I'm not giving up this logo. I worked too hard.
Now that was before Straight Outta Compton movie.
Was this? Yes.
2015.
Yes, it was
before the movie came out because you know the shit going to production like 5 years before it came out.
No, I came up with this before then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
So, but I liked the logo, and I was like, fuck. Okay, I started making hats. So the hats started taking off, and then I did the shirts. Shirts started taking off, so it was a clothing brand. But I always wanted to do podcasts, right? Ever since fucking Nasty Ness, ever since I seen the documentary on Stretch and Bobbito.
Yeah.
And so I said, man, I want to do a podcast. What should I call it? And I said, fuck it, I'll just call it Fresh Out the Northwest, right? And then that's how it started. It was just,
What year did you start the podcast?
A year ago.
Oh, barely. You just started it.
Yeah, I got 52. I got 57 episodes. So we'll say a year and a half.
Okay, yeah. Because I'm trying to binge. I'm trying to binge your show, man. Because you got. I'm trying to see who you got on there. I'm trying because I was listening to one. I was like, okay. I was trying to do some homework. Like, okay.
Yeah.
You know, so I could throw some stuff at you. Like, man, I could throw some information about your guest.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just,
But let me go back. But I did 2 podcasts before.
Okay.
So, but I was always, it was first one was me. It was me, Soul. God, this guy's gonna be mad because I can't remember his name. Jay. Don't be mad at me, Jay. I'm old. But it was me, Soul, Jay, this girl named Mo. We did the first one. That one didn't work out. Then I did another podcast with my friend RC. We did some episodes, but then I ended up moving to Arlington. So I don't stay in Seattle right now. I stay in Arlington.
Oh, damn.
Which is about an hour away.
Yeah.
Right? So it was kind of like, okay, that didn't really work out. But then I had something in my head that I wanted to do. So I went and bought the equipment and said, fuck it, I'm going to do my own thing, bro.
Right.
And then I just learned, like my first episode is nothing like my 56 episode.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I learned how to edit. I learned everything. But this is a space I always wanted to be in.
Right.
I wanted to be in this space since fucking 1984.
Right.
When I used to hear Nasty Ness. So it's just one of those things like, I want to do a podcast. Oh, the title should be Fresh Out to Northwest. Everybody kind of know me as that. Boom, it came together, bro.
Right, no doubt. Hey, and but let me just pause on the podcast real quick.
Okay.
Go back to the mixtapes.
Okay.
How vital was the local record shops back then to a successful mixtape circuit?
Oh,
right?
No, I make money.
Right.
Yeah.
But there was enough, even if there weren't record shops, there was enough stores that would carry a CD.
Right. So like ARS were the 2 main local record stores in Seattle. One was down by Rainier Beach. The other one was kind of in the Columbia City.
Okay.
My homeboy Guy and Furrow. So I used to make mixtapes, and they would just pay me outright. So let's say I had 20 mixtapes, right? So they gave me $10 a pop for each mixtape. That's $200.
Hell yeah.
As soon as you drop it off. Now, what they sold it for, I don't give a shit.
On them, right?
Right, that's on them.
Right.
And so then they would peg. We need another one. So this is I'd say this is about 1998 because I was making them on CDs.
Yeah, oh man, they was doubling up.
Right,
man.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then I remember one time somebody's like, yeah, man, Furrow selling your mixtapes for like $18. I don't give a shit.
Right. I
don't care.
He paid for the
right.
You know what I'm saying? He paid my premium.
Right. And then my name started getting out there. My name started circulating.
Right.
Like this dude, man, he's dope on the mixtape circuit, right? And once my name got out there, you know what I'm saying, everything was lovely. But like I told you, we're going to fast forward. Remember, I got in trouble 2004.
Right. Okay, yeah.
So I was making mixtapes. I got in trouble 2004.
But you didn't end up doing the 5.
Oh, hell no, I beat the case.
Right, exactly.
I mean, I beat the case. We'll talk about that off.
Yeah, okay.
I beat the case.
So, yeah. right.
So, but when I beat the case, I was like, man, I got to do something where I can get money in my pocket. So the girl, she wasn't my girlfriend, but the girl that, was my partner was like, won't you DJ? You've been DJing anyway. You already got a name for yourself. It won't take long for you to go out there
Right.
And then that's how the mixtapes got me in the clubs.
Okay.
I'd be like, yeah, man, come on, man. You know, I used to do these mixtapes.
Right.
But what I learned real quick, making a mixtape and DJing live in the club is two different things. I had to learn that part.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, you was probably DJing your mixtapes. And
pretty much, and people wasn't feeling it.
Right.
Because, you know, what you listen to in your car ain't the same thing you want to dance to.
Right.
You know what I mean?
On everything.
And then my homeboy Lovesick Larry, he took me up under his wing. Because I remember one day, he's like, bro, you got the skills, but you're and he's a rude motherfucker.
Right.
So he's like, yeah, you got the skills, but your songs ain't shit. Like, what are you doing? Like, you know? And then back then, I think Mace was popping.
Yeah. I was a big fan of Mace back
then.
Right,
but I wasn't because, you know, I come from that grimy underground hip hop. Right. And he's like, if you want to make money in this, you're going to have to play some Mace. You're going to have to play all the popular shit you don't want to play.
The top 40.
Right, the top 40, right? And then my homeboy G Press put me on Vito's, which was a big-ass crowd. And then and I warmed up for Lovesick. So I learned as a year. I was that 9 o'clock to 11 DJ. You know what I mean?
Right.
So while everybody's getting their drinks and
warming up, yeah.
But I learned, man. I tell DJs, man, be humble, bro. Don't try to just go and kill it.
Right.
Learn. I had to learn, like, okay, they're not feeling that. And then once I felt...
You got to read the room.
Right. But once I was like, oh, this is what makes them dance. This is what makes them feel good.
And, you know, you already had the hitters. Yeah. All right, so give me a couple. Now, you was going to, like, mainstream at that time, right?
Right. Oh, yeah.
Give me some songs that you was like, okay, that you saw a dramatic shift in the crowd.
Oh, man. Oh, shit. Now you hit me. Let me see. What song?
Just a couple. You don't got to go too deep in the
archive. Man, you know, damn, bro. You put me on the spot. If I had my computer, I could just boom, 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 hit you with joints, man.
But, I mean, it was like oldies. I mean, what type of music?
So we're talking about 2004. So what was popping back then?
I mean, like you had G Unit was popping.
Yeah, see, okay, G Unit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You know, Wayne was popping.
Yep. Go DJ.
Yeah, that was.
You know, what's that other one they had?
A lot of Fab. I bought
Gator
Fab.
Boots.
Oh yeah, the Big Timers. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, you just put me on the spot.
Okay, yeah. So you was 04. Look, 04 was a good year for hip hop. Right. That was a good era for hip hop.
But also, what I had to learn is you got certain club. You really have to learn your crowd, right?
Yeah.
So like, I would do these underground sets, and then I realized, well, the shit I play at Vito's, I can't play here. So then I had to learn that, and that you can't play at. You know, you go somewhere where there's a bunch of older folks, and now I got to shift and do this. You know what I mean?
Might play some Old Town Road over here. You know what I mean?
Right. So, but like the one thing I can say about now with hip hop, I think it's all the same. First of all, hip hop's always going to be a young man's game, right? I'm 53. I shouldn't like the same shit my daughter like. My daughter's 33. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
So but how old was Kool Herc when he discovered hip hop?
Kool Herc?
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably in his early 20s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you know, a lot of old heads are making good arguments for, you know, rappers past 40.
Right.
They're making pretty good arguments.
Oh, yeah.
You know, as far as, like, you know, other generations, other genres not being questioned.
But I'm talking about the club scene, not the music scene.
Okay.
Club scene is always going to be a young person.
Okay, right.
You know what I mean? But even the mass of what kids listen to are young, right? Mm-hmm. So, you know, they like and no disrespect, you know, they like like who's popping, young and popping right now, bro? I can't even think because I don't even listen to it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And no disrespect.
Right. But you know you can't really keep up, man. I mean, there's new music. There's a new artist every single day that you ain't heard. This nigga got a following now. Right. You know what I mean? And you like, where was this nigga the whole time? And then nigga still ain't heard of you yet.
So me and my daughter, here's an example. Mm-hmm. My daughter, when Little Baby was popping, my daughter loved Little Baby.
Little Baby or the Baby?
No, Little Baby.
Little Baby.
Okay. He was popping. Mm-hmm. And I like maybe one or two songs by him. And she was like, Dad, why come you don't like him? I said, it's not that I don't like him. I just don't resonate with what he's talking about.
Right.
Right? He's a young dude from Atlanta talking about money, bitches, and that's right. Shit, yeah. But I've been through that already.
Right.
I lived that.
We know what that is.
Right. So I want to hear something new. Right? And so, like I was telling her, I said, if Tupac would have lived, he probably would have got to the other side of things. And then his music would have been different than what Tupac made. Right? Because we all like Tupac. Right. I was a young dude, like, oh, he's popping.
Hell yeah.
But what he was talking about, I was resonating with. But if Tupac would have still been rapping about that same shit,
he would have evolved.
Yeah. So Little Baby might evolve, and then when he gets older, you're gonna be like, oh,
right.
You know what I'm saying? This is what it is. You know, because I told my daughter, Nipsey just happened to be in a sweet spot where I like Nipsey. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Nipsey was just right to where I was like, okay, dude, it's dope.
Yeah.
And then we just hit some of these young cats. I'm not feeling, but I don't want to be the angry, you know,
the angry critic. Right.
It's just not for me, and that's okay.
And that's okay.
You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, the last young club I did was the Stage, and I killed it, bro. Everybody's in there between the ages of 21 and 30. I killed it, and I'm never doing another young club again because I just didn't like the music. You know what I mean? Yeah. I knew what to play to make everybody happy.
Right.
But now I'm to a point, I pick and choose what I want to do. Bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And so that's another way to communicate with artists when they like submit your songs. They try to get you to render an opinion about it or whatever. Right. It's just like, look, send me your music. If you don't hear it in any of my mixes, you got your answer.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But usually it has nothing to do with their style. It might have something to do with their mixing. Or the mixing might sound bad.
Right,
you know, you're not rapping in the pocket.
Right.
Or you're rapping with how everybody else raps. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, I mean, what advice would you give for, you know, independent artists that are recording themselves, you know what I mean, and trying to, like, you know, get songs on the radio and stuff like that?
Get it mastered.
Or just to a DJ.
Get it mastered. That's it.
Yeah.
Take your stems.
But emphasize how important that is because people
huge.
It's huge.
It's huge.
It's critical. It's imperative. You know what I mean?
I could play two songs. One could be from the industry. The other one can be you made at home. They could be at the same volume. Mm-hmm. This song over here is going to sound louder and crisper than your song. Right? Now, also, I'm going to keep it a buck. If you're talking about you got money in your raps, you got Versace, you got the Prada, you got the Gucci, then you should have $120 to get your song mastered.
Right. That part, right. I mean, if you got a Gucci belt, I mean, damn. You know what I mean?
Should be able to get your song mastered.
Come on.
That's major to get your song mastered, right?
Right.
Also, because right now, you don't even have to have your song mastered put on Spotify. My ears are so good, I could be like, yeah, he did that in his house.
Right.
You know
I remember the homie told me back in the day, he was hearing my new song, recorded on GarageBand with a USB mic.
Right.
And as soon as, like, 2 seconds into the song, he say, I heard the mic cut on.
You know what I mean?
And I was like, yeah, man, just don't worry about that part.
But that's, man, besides everything else, get your song mastered, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And concentrate on one song. Don't concentrate on an album. Concentrate on that one song.
One song at a time.
Right.
Yeah.
And then build an album. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I got a problem with somebody right now. I keep saying, like, bro, you're sitting on 90 fucking songs and you ain't put a song out.
Right.
Put one song out.
Right.
Do a video. Put another song out.
Right.
Do a video. Build a fan base.
Exactly.
Then they've been doing that since fucking Motown.
Right.
Motown used to have the 45s, remember?
Right.
Those were the singles. Then they put out albums.
Exactly. See, I was talking to, I forget who it was, man. I was talking to some artists about, a lot of artists are doing like music dumps.
Right.
They're doing shows, but they don't think in terms of a campaign, right? Like, for example, everybody wants to get signed. Right. But artists don't think like, okay, if I'm gonna be an independent artist, I need to see at least what the labels do for the artist, so I know what I need to do. You know what I mean? Because being an independent artist just means like you're wearing all the hats.
Right.
So it sounds good until you realize that you got to play all 5 positions. You know what I mean? So,
and if you're an independent artist, you better have some bread, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 1,000 ain't gonna get it.
No.
You better come with 10, 20 stacks that you're willing to lose.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 40 stacks you're willing to lose. Macklemore wrote the blueprint for you guys. They just ain't paying attention.
Really?
Oh yeah, Macklemore paid at least $40,000 to a marketing or whatever the machine is. I don't know what the machine, but he gave a machine
to an agency.
An agency. Here's $40,000.
Make it happen.
And they made it happen.
Because look, Macklemore, I was just said it on another podcast that he blew up bigger than most independent artists ever.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, when I heard he did Mariners,
right,
I was just like, okay, that's all I need to know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I still wasn't convinced. I had another producer back in Pasadena, shout out Train of Thought, Pokey Low and everybody. Train of Thought came to me with the Heist on a thumb drive, and he said, yo, Bing, you got to listen to this.
Right.
I was just like, I remember walking through Target, seeing the Heist on the shelf, and I was like, man, nobody buying that shit.
Right.
I said that about Game's album.
Right.
I said, that was my favorite album of all the hip-hop, you know what I mean? And so, sure enough, so he forced it on me. I gave it 2 weeks. I listened to the whole album for 2 weeks. And I think it's one of the greatest albums in hip-hop.
Right.
You know what I mean? I honestly, when Kendrick won that or when he won over Kendrick in that award show. You remember that?
Yeah.
I feel like the Heights deserved that. I was like, nah, don't apologize. I thought it was a great album.
Right.
Nigga, I used to ride my scooter to work listening to that fucking album.
Right.
Like, that shit was real for me, you know?
Hey, but that Kendrick joint, come on,
yeah,
man.
Look, that's not a slide on Kendrick.
Right.
You know what I mean? See, remember how you said, you know, Nipsey was like just hitting that sweet spot?
Right.
Like I like Nipsey style more than the Kendrick style.
Right.
You know, not to take anything from Kendrick, right? Same thing with like LeBron James. Like, yeah, he's great. He's got all the accolades and the records and stuff, but you just don't do it for me.
Right.
Right. I need Kobe Bryant. Like, he inspired me when I seen him play. Right. You know what I mean? So, you know.
You know what's funny is somebody asked me the other day, like, who is like one of the rappers I listen to the most? And I said, I like Dom Kennedy. And a lot of people, I think Dom Kennedy.
You talking about like newer rappers or just in general?
Just in general, right now, I go through phases.
Right.
But I'm on a Dom Kennedy kick. Right?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You gotta send me some suggestions.
Yeah,
man,
Dom Kennedy? His last 4 albums. Just listen to them. Yeah, man. You know, yeah, man, they're all dope. But or also he's part of Half a Mill. You know who Half a Mill is? It's Dom Kennedy, Hit Boy. They made a group called Half a Mill.
Boy. See, Hit Boy gotta come holler. He from Dina, bro. He gotta come holler.
Right.
He know what it is, man.
But so Dom Kennedy and Hit Boy, but I don't know, man. I just like his flow. It's not overcomplicated.
Right.
I just it's almost like he's talking to you.
Right.
You know
How you feel about Big Sean?
I like Big Sean, bro.
Big Sean is dope.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Big Sean really got bars. You know what I mean? And he can make a hit like Accident. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, man. I like Big Sean. Bro, I like so many people. Yeah. I would literally have to just go through my playlist and just be like, this is who I fuck with.
Right. So you got a playlist, Spotify playlist you promote?
No, okay. I did.
You did?
Bro, yeah. So look, bro, I'm going to be honest with you, man. Like, I do so much shit. I got to take shit off my plate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
right.
I can't do everything. So I used to have a Spotify playlist, and then, you know, I'm one of the people, I want to update it.
Right.
And then I just like, time is money, right?
Yeah.
I can't do everything.
We don't even use Spotify enough to even just
right. So I just be like,
right.
So, you know, I can't do a mixtape, do a podcast, DJ on the weekends, and then worry about a Spotify playlist.
Right.
So I took it off. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I always tell people, just listen to my mixtapes, man. That's you know, I got, I'm at 138 right now.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, I'm at 138 mixtapes.
Wow, 138, and they can all be downloaded.
No, so between 1 and 36. So I was on what the fuck, Mixcloud.
Yeah,
and then Mixcloud did this thing you had to pay.
They just did that.
Yeah, and so because you had to pay, like all your mixes got dropped unless you pay.
Right.
And I was like, fuck it. So what I'm doing right now is I got them all. I just want to make sure they're all got the album covers on them.
Right.
And then once I do that, I'm gonna put it on a flash drive where I might just do go to Dropbox and.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what I do, man. I've been serving files for years.
Right.
I mean, I got a storage where I was doing it for Pasadena. I had a lot of local artists, man. I had their whole mixtapes and stuff, and I just serve the digital download. You know what I mean? As long as I can serve it from a cloud that'll offer me some level of insights.
Right.
You know what I mean? The download counter. Just as long as I can get some type of idea.
Right.
Like, you don't got to tell me, okay, there's a 12-year-old little girl in Springfield, Illinois. I don't need to know that. You know what I mean? It'd be nice, but if I could just see, okay, how many people downloaded it?
Right.
That's good enough for me.
Okay.
I do MediaFire.
Okay.
You know, I've served my magazine. I've got digital magazine and a podcast, all from the MediaFire digital download, because with the PDF, we were uploading our magazine on issue.com. And then Issue is like, oh, well, you know, we're charging more now.
Right, that bullshit.
The bullshit. And so I was just like, oh, so if not embedding the issue on the website wasn't enough, you took that shit away. You know what I mean? Now you're trying to make me pay you just so people can listen. I'm not even referring people to that link anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean? So why are you paying? I'm like, I've already pushed you aside. Like, I'll upload the magazine there, but I won't send people there. You know what I mean?
Right.
I just put it there just so it can be found, worst case scenario.
Right.
But I rely on the PDF.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Just download the PDF. PDFs are still interactive. You can still click links, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So shout out Adobe, you know what I mean, for that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Before we bounce, man, we gonna link up and get everything.
For sure, yeah, man. I think there's a lot that we could do, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm really trying to help build a foundation for the local music scene. Yeah, I think Seattle, not just in Seattle, but I think Seattle's a good pilot. You know what I'm saying for this. But before we get too far off topic, I did want to go back to the illustration part real quick. Okay. And talk about like the mediums. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, were you a pen guy? Was you a marker, spray paint?
I was all that. I mean, all that. I still make flyers to this day. I'm all that, bro.
Because the homie was like, look, there's this iPad generation coming in here thinking they can just pick up Procreate and like think they're number one. It's just like, look, bro, any real artist gonna tell you put the iPad down. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I was doing. I'm out of practice now, but all my tattoos.
Oh, you did them?
Yeah.
Oh shit! So you do tats too?
No, I designed them. I didn't do them. Yeah.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, but I mean, like, no, I was the real deal. I had the sketchbook and paint and all that shit, bro. Right.
So I mean, what did you start with? It's pen, right?
Pen. Yeah. And then, you know, I started following like local artists. Right. Graffiti artist, Mr. Clean was one of them. Okay. And then like my first mural was bullshit. It was whack, bro, because I didn't know how to control the spray paint. None of that shit.
Right,
you know
right. So you had to warm up to that. Yeah.
But once I did like 3 murals. But once again, we're going back, bro, from the streets, right? Like
niggas don't got spray paint volume like that.
And back then we really went to jail for that shit. Like motherfuckers get free walls right now. We didn't get free walls, so you had to get up in the middle of the night, hit that shit, hope the police don't hit the spotlight on you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's just once again, man. Back then it was kind of like, is it even worth it for me to go to jail over some graffiti? Right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm a thinker, so I'm like,
what other places have you like spent a lot of time in other than Seattle?
That's it, Seattle, bro.
It. So I mean,
I was in LA only for a summer.
Okay, but you know, back in the day in Seattle, you know, as far back as you can remember, till you know, not even present, they just called it like 2015 or something. So, how was law enforcement? Were they like cat and mouse with people?
Yeah, bullshit. Law enforcement is still fucked up.
Yeah, but I mean, what I'm saying is like, you know, in LA, you know, they'll profile you.
Oh yeah,
out.
They'll profile you.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Out here, I haven't been profiled. I haven't seen anyone profiled. Oh. I'm not gonna sit here and say it hasn't happened, but I'm just saying like.
I think they're a little bit more lax now. Yeah. But look, okay, so quick history: gangs came up here in 1986, 85, 86, right? And when
they came up here, meaning there was no homegrown gangs.
No, they came up here that I know of, at least in my neighborhood. Right. So I mean, the gangs came up here, and they kind of just like, motherfuckers was fascinated. I know I was fascinated. Like, oh shit, motherfucker got a 6'4" Impala, he's wearing blue. You know, he had the Lokes. I'm like, this motherfucker's cool as shit. Right. Right. And so, I don't think the police knew how to handle that. Right. At that time. Yeah. So if you wore blue, you was just, who the fuck if you wore red? They was like, what's going on? Right. And then there was a family from Chicago. They came up here. So we had, Seattle's like, I think one of the only cities that had Crips, Bloods, Disciples. Right? Wow. You know what I mean? Right, they were all up here, and mostly Disciples. Like, everybody knows was a Disciple.
Yeah. So I think Gangsta Disciple was like the main hood, like particularly like in the CD.
Yeah, you know CD, South End. Yeah, definitely. You know what I'm saying?
And then West Seattle was lit back then too, right? I mean, that shit wasn't
Bloods, the Mad Pack. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm from the town.
Right. So you know what I'm saying? So you ever heard of Chocolate City?
Nah.
Okay, I heard of Chocolate City. It might be some Tacoma stuff, but you know, I ask around, people tell me these things. You know, I'm not from here, so you know, I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah,
you know
like Tacoma had the hilltop.
Right.
They were notorious. Like, everybody knew. Niggas knew, like, if you from the town, right? You know, if you wasn't connected, you might want to go home when it starts getting dark. You know what I mean? That part. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Tacoma. I was pretty much up on Tacoma, because you know, when I came out here, you know, I wanted to get Tacoma in the mix too. I was looking for Everett rappers, and you know what I mean.
And don't get it twisted, man. Tacoma got some. First of all, every city got spitters, bro.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
You know, Mount Vernon got motherfuckers that can spit. You know what I mean?
I've seen a nigga in Bremerton. No lie. I've seen a white boy from Bremerton. Now, it might not have been no super duper ooper, you know what I mean? But he was doing his shit. You know,
because I think influence is easier access now. Yeah. Right? Everybody can get hip hop. Just go to your phone, hip hop now. You can get inspiration, right? Back then, it wasn't. Records didn't travel like that. Right. Remember, we're talking about wax. Distribution, it didn't travel like that.
That was an integral part of the business. You know what I mean? When Tower Records went down, Napster, Kazaa, and all, LimeWire, and all that was the last of the era. You know what I mean?
So now you got to think, like, I had a cousin from Washington, D.C. I played Down and Dirty from the Click, and it blew his fucking mind. The album has already been out for 4 or 5 years. I remember I gave it to him. You know the Click. I gave that to him, man. He went back to D.C. And then he had everybody sprung off D.C. But what if he'd have never came to Seattle? You get what I'm saying?
Right.
What if I wasn't his cousin and said, "Hey, man," and I was like, "Oh, here, take this CD with you." You know what I'm saying? Same thing when I went to Wichita, Kansas. That's where I heard the Roots for the first time in Wichita, Kansas, bro.
True.
I heard the Roots. Their first album was called Organics. It didn't even reach Seattle yet because they're from Philly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm in Kansas, like
so everything was damn.
Yeah, so think about that. Yeah.
Everything was really logistics back then.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
you know what I mean?
Like the shit, East Coast got shit first.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But what they didn't tell you that West Coast got shit first. So yeah, the East Coast had the East Coast shit first, but the West Coast had the West Coast shit.
Right. In terms of music,
because if you think, okay, let's say you put 1,000, well, let's say 10,000 albums on a truck. Well, the trucks are going to deliver everything from the West Coast first,
right,
before they shoot to the East Coast.
Okay.
Because back then there wasn't no.
The labels were all in L.A.
Right. Or the East Coast labels in East Coast.
Right.
So of course they're going to hear Nas before we hear Nas, but of course we're going to hear NWA before you hear.
Right.
I knew about Too Short way before motherfuckers knew about. I knew about Too Short when he had the cassette tapes. Dangerous Music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I was, like you said, we got that connection with the Bay. So by the time the East Coast heard Too Short, they didn't realize, like, why is this motherfucker so... Because, he
was already big here.
Ed Lover said when he first heard Too Short, he's like, he got ABC raps. Why they love him? Right? He said from the East Coast, they didn't understand it.
Right.
But then he realized, oh, he's talking to them.
Right.
That music's for them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, bro.
And it's just a trip because, like, back then, the distribution, like getting a distribution deal was a big deal.
Huge.
Because, it took capital to print them CDs up. Somebody had to front the money. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's like, okay, you get signed to Universal. They're distributing it online like you can do yourself. They just got the money to
advertise.
Yeah,
it's the advertisement at this point, advertising the promo.
But these days, distribution in and of itself is like, to get distribution, anybody can do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this question. When's the last time you bought a physical CD?
The last time I bought a physical CD was off of artists on the street hustling the CD. Right. Surprisingly, some dudes are still doing that right now.
So, let me ask you. Okay, I hate to cut you off.
In the store.
When's the last time? No, I'm talking about just. When's the last time you played a physical CD?
Oh yeah, great question. I'd have to say, not in recent memory.
Right. So my point is, that's why they don't need distribution anymore. See, man, I'm telling you, man, the cell phone and the Spotify. All that shit, it travels, bro. It's just saturated.
But the thing is, like with streaming, that's the industry, the corporate industry's solution to monetizing the industry, right?
Right.
But it puts power back into the hands of the corporation.
It still does.
And like even Snoop was like, look, where the fuck this money at?
Right.
Like he said, how you get 1 million streams and not even $1 million or $100 for that matter, And a person be done wore your music all the way out, burnt out on it before you even make enough to see anything. You know what I mean?
So I did this EP called the Hella Fresh EP. There's a song on there by Guafam. For some reason, this motherfucker blew up in Germany. I don't know how, but it had something like 400,000 streams in Germany.
Oh wow!
I ended up getting $40, bro. $40. And the shit went nuts.
And I was just streaming on one platform.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That was Spotify.
Yeah, see, that ain't equating. You
know
what I mean? Let me tell you something. If you got your music on Bandcamp, which I think every musician needs that Bandcamp, okay, we should be thankful for these people that this shit even exists in this day and age.
Right.
Support someone on Bandcamp. They get the money right away.
Right.
They give you an option to buy the full discography, which I think is brilliant. I love it.
Right.
You know. But unfortunately, a lot of local artists don't put their stuff up there because it's not included with the distribution, platforms. You know what I mean? And look, the artist gets their money immediately.
Right. I
get the music immediately. Also, I get the whole collection. The MP3 stays in my account.
Right.
You know what I mean? In case I want to re-download it or I lose it from my old phone or whatever.
I bought music off Bandcamp.
Yeah.
I bought music, like I said, everything can't be streamed.
Exactly.
14 Fathoms Deep. Do the math. I could
do the math. Let's go.
I done bought shit. You know what I'm saying? My homeboy Vitamin D.
Let's go.
I done bought this shit, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Sport Life, which is crazy because now Sport Life is digital. Like you can go listen to it on Spotify, but shit, fuck it. I still bought it. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like if you want support, you got to support others, right?
Right.
I can't, and it's just a karma thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you hit me up, Peg, bro, man, fuck yeah, I'm gonna come here. Why would I say no? I have a podcast too. Why I'm gonna say no to your podcast?
Right.
That's you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, I'm looking for that love. Okay, cool. You see, bro, I came.
Bro,
I was already gonna be in Seattle, so fuck it.
Right, and you was on time, and we kept everything. Like, look, man, bro. I just look. When artists turn me down for the interview, it be low-key hurting my feelings. You know what I mean?
Well, why? Okay, here, let's get off subject real quick.
Yeah.
Why would an artist turn you down when this is part of people getting to know them?
Exactly. And this is what I'm saying. Look, artists need what I'm trying to do for them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And it doesn't even make sense. Like, I literally, I hate to cut you off.
Yeah.
I literally told you 3 things on this interview that nobody knows.
Boom.
Now, I gave you some exclusive shit, right?
Hella value.
Now, if I be like, man, Mr. Mr. Wilson, my bad. Hey, man, I need this. Can you get on my podcast real quick? Well, I did one for you first, right?
Right.
You're going to be like, oh, hell yeah, Peg, I got you. Let's do it.
Top.
Right? Plus, now you could be like, hey, Peg, nobody's never heard this before, but boom, oh, shit. All
Give you that exclusive. Right.
That's what it's all about.
Come on. And see, you got the history of networking. So, being a DJ early on, you knew you had to rub shoulders. You know what I mean? And so these days, it's like night and day. Or it comes easy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just like, boom, look, I don't got no opinion. I'll check it out. You know what I mean? And then, you want to follow up, we could chop. You know what I mean?
Because one thing I believe is, I never look at anything to make money, right? The money will come. Not worry about that. I do shit out the love of my heart,
right? And
I truly try to help people, and I truly try to inspire people. Right. If I get paid, cool. If I don't, cool. Because it doesn't cost me much money to do that,
right?
Like the most money I spent, I say, is probably advertising my podcast and then buying the equipment. Right. But here goes another thing that people is about to blow their mind. It keeps me relevant.
Just like that.
Right?
Yeah.
Each week, even if you don't listen to my podcast, you're gonna hear my name. Right.
And you still got that installment. Like how many podcast episodes you said you had?
I got 55 up and I got 59, but I do them once a week. So I'm ahead of the game.
Okay, so we talking so far you got about 55 weeks. Weeks. Okay, and the beautiful thing about that is episode 32 is episode 32.
Right.
You feel me? You didn't skip episode 16.
Right.
Like you did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and every episode meant that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So even with my magazine, when I dropped issue 112, you know what I mean? Or issue, 80. Right. You know what I mean? As odd as it might be, we instilled the value in that issue. You know what I mean? Just because it wasn't issue 100 or issue 1,000, we still gave it the respect it deserves. You know what I mean?
Plus, you can watch how it grew. Like
exactly.
My first podcast is nothing like 56.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to ask you too. You said you had 2 other podcasts. Were those focused on the music scene?
Yeah, they were focused on the music scene, but it was somebody else's podcast, and I was like the guest host, right?
Right. And so with this, you were in full control.
That's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be in full control, and I'm still cool with everybody to this day. So it wasn't like, like the first one, it was just, hey man, I live out in Arlington now, bro. I can't be, coming all the way out here to do this podcast,
right?
You know what I mean? And then one of the people on there, I just didn't like his opinions, and that's what everybody's entitled to their opinion.
Right.
I just didn't like his opinion,
right?
Then me and my homeboy RC, it was his podcast. So he's the host, I was the guest host. Once again, nothing wrong, but I just see mine's going a different way.
Right.
Because what I didn't want, so my podcast is a combination of 2 people that inspire me. One is Larry King. If you don't know who Larry King is, you should know who Larry King is. He was the first, before there was a podcast, he was the
Larry
podcast.
King, yeah.
Right.
Oh, you talking about Larry King live?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
The one that passed away.
Right.
I like the way he interviewed people, man. It was more like, we're having fun. I'm not, if you want to...
He wasn't a super square. He was cool.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? And he get to the nitty gritty on shit. Yeah.
Right. And then I like Snoop's podcast because it was short. Snoop's podcast is only, 15 to 30 minutes.
Right.
And he's having fun. He's smoking weed. He's chilling.
Right.
And so I combined the 2, and that's how I came up with mine. So my podcast It's 6 questions. That's it. I only ask 6 questions.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you already have a basic formality. What are the questions?
First one is what inspired you to become rapper. Mm-hmm. Second one is, you know, what artist did you listen to? Or if you're a graffiti artist, like what other people inspired you?
Right, who influenced you? Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Then what you got for the future, right? How you feel about the Northwest hip hop scene. Mm-hmm. Then one is called the fishbowl question. Mm-hmm. So it's a random question in the fishbowl. Mm. Pull it out.
I like that. That's
boom.
Cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the last one is how can people find you on social media?
Right.
But what I do is if I ask you a question, we're gonna get deeper into that question. That's what Larry King did. Larry King only asked so many questions, but like you say, I mean, like, oh, who influenced you? You'd be like, oh, Tupac, Mac Dre. Oh shit. Well, what about Tupac that influenced? That's how I do it.
Right, and he piggybacks off of that, and based off of what you say, you go deeper.
Right. And then there's some people that don't talk, and I learn how to just, okay, he's not a talker, so we're just going to get through the podcast, and then I ask him questions at the end. Plus, a lot of these rappers I have stories with. So I be putting in stories like, yeah, man, remember the time we was at the club, and this pop. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, man, because I've been doing this for a while, man. I made great connections.
For sure.
You know, never burnt bridges. I'm the type of person, you don't fuck with me, you don't fuck with me.
Right. It's that simple. Yeah. I mean, you know, me, you know, I've had my mental health issues to where, you know, I've rubbed people the wrong way, and, you know, I found myself having to cross bridges again. You know what I mean? And I had to fix them shits myself. Right. You know what I mean? Like, they couldn't help me. It's just like, because at the end of the day, you know, sometimes, you know, we can't get too much in our head. We rub people the wrong way that don't deserve it. Right. You know, just because I got mental health issues don't make it okay. You know what I mean? And that's one thing that I'm thankful to come to. And man, you took responsibility for yourself, bro. That's huge. It's huge. That's huge. Yeah. A lot of people don't even know that to do that, you know, that they should do this. It's just not an option. Right. You know what I mean? But I mean, anyone that's really seeking, you know, change and serious about, you know, their condition or their situation. I mean, if you're serious about trying to get to your destination, then you're going to make the necessary adjustments. So I'm going to tell you something else. The reason why I go so hard, like I said, I got in trouble, right? Mm-hmm. And I was getting in trouble, and then, like I said, I got 2004. Yeah, man, like I was looking at 5 years, and then I had to look back at my life and be like, I want to change how I used to be. Right. So that's why I go so hard, bro, because I want motherfuckers to know, like, okay, he used to be this, but he's this now. Right. I'm trying to change how he used to be. Exactly. Plus, my kids can be like, well, damn, Dad used to be like this. But now he's like this. Exactly. So when they say that it's never too late to change, yeah, motherfucker, it really is never too late to change. Right. Look at me. Exactly. If I was to pass, Lord, let's knock on some wood. If I was to pass away tomorrow, you can say, well, damn, man, he wasn't the same person he was in 2004. Right. You know what I mean? And that's big. You know, it's like motherfuckers, my peers know how I used to be, how I am. Right. Which is funny, man. I DJ with my homeboy Dice. Uh-huh. We just DJed last week. Okay. And he was like, yeah, man, they really don't know you. he's like, you know, you come off nice and smart, which I am, bro. I always had a good heart. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, like I said before, I never wanted no trouble. I stuck up for myself, but you know, I wasn't a stick-up guy. Or, right. You know, but you knew what it was. You feel me? And I always kept my antennas up. I had my Spidey. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, I survived. Exactly. You know what I mean? So, you know, a lot of the coolest niggas to me in the hood weren't necessarily the bullies or the hardest dudes. It was a lot of time. It wasn't even the dudes that got the girls. It was the dudes that saw shit for what it was. Yeah. You know what I mean? And would just you know, wouldn't be afraid to just be like, yeah, nigga, well that's that, and we don't gotta. Right. You know what I mean? We don't gotta like deal with it. You know what I mean? But we know. Yeah, like we see what's going on. Right, you know what I mean? I've always respected people, bro. That's me. Even drug addicts, I respect them, man. Yeah, absolutely. I ain't gonna fuck with you, but you going through something. Exactly. Yeah, man. Respect is the main thing. And you know it costs nothing. Come on, that's why like you got to give it to get it, and you know, if we could talk about that all day. Yeah. But look, there's a couple more, you know, Seattle art based questions I want to hit you with. Let's go. One. Real quick, group versus band, right? Or excuse me, group, band versus, you know, independent artists. Right. I tell artists all the time, don't join a group. You know what I mean? Because there's too many more dynamics you got to keep track of, and it never pans out. It never really pans out. There's only two groups I can think of that I know in my head, 3 that never broke up. Boys to Men. Well, I was talking about hip hop, but you're right. Okay, yeah. Who you got? So I was just talking about music in general. Oh, in general. Yeah.
I believe the Roots has never broken up.
Oh, big shout out to the Roots.
Right, the Roots. Yeah, they've never broken up. De La Soul never broke up.
Rest in peace, Dilla.
Right. No, not Dilla. True Boy. De La Soul. So.
They collaborated with
Dilla. Okay, yeah, Dilla. And now now that you said, I can't think of the third person in my head. Woo. They didn't break up, but they kind of had some. You're right. I don't know if it's an official breakup.
Right.
But they definitely
they did their independent thing.
But at one point they kind of quit fucking with each other for a minute. So you know what I mean. But we'll just say, even then the Roots and De La Soul, I can't think of too many groups that just never broke up.
Right. The Temptations, they broke up.
I believe so.
I think so. Yeah.
But you're right. Boys and Men has always been together.
Right. Boys to Men, man. That's.
But see what it is also. Those guys were friends.
Right. First. Yeah, right.
And I think if you're going to join a group, like if, let's say me and my partner, we grew up together since we was 10, and we decided to join a group, well, it might just last instead of just, okay, let's put this person, and this person together.
Right. The friendship transcends, you know what I'm saying, the business relationship.
Right.
Because if it's just business.
Souls of Mischief, I'm sorry. Souls of Mischief
never broke up.
All right.
Oh, they never broke up. Okay.
Yeah.
You got to consider, the motivating factors, right? Why people do this, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, what makes an artist, they want to be a rapper, but what makes them actually do the work?
Right.
Right? Because doing the work, you got to put in the work first, you know what I mean? Essentially, it's free. You're not going to get paid for that unless you're just really savvy like that. I think it's real interesting that even when you started as a DJ, you kind of already knew who your network pool was, right?
Yeah.
Like, you was getting paid off of mixtapes back then. You know what I mean? That's heavy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, back then, I remember as a kid, I just wish I could have an album. You know what I mean?
Right.
I remember I finally moved to a group home where I bought my first albums. My first albums was that I paid for. Well, social worker paid for them, but I chose them. You know what I mean? She let me get two. It was my birthday. I chose Jermaine Dupri, Instructions to the Game.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And Ghetto Fabulous, his first album.
Come on, man.
And, them was my first two.
Right.
I was going to get the Luda album, but you know what I mean? Those was the hottest albums out. JD, as a producer, I don't think he get his flowers enough.
No.
Man. He's up there.
He makes hits.
Jermaine Dupri, you know what I mean?
Like, I think people, when it comes to producers, they like, well, man, he's not a real producer. But if you make a hit, you're a producer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
But
no, he's made hits.
Like mega hits.
That part.
Right, you know what I mean? Not hits, but mega hits.
Right, there's this song on that album, Instructions to the Game, called Rock With Me.
Yeah.
You know that song?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where he talks about, look, man, I brought you niggas Crisscross, I brought you niggas Escape, I brought you niggas Bow Wow, I brought you niggas Jagged Edge, I brought you niggas... there's a whole bunch of...
And there's songs he did, you don't even know he did, bro. His hands is everywhere.
Right. And, what really drove it home for me was when he was, when he basically sponsored the Dog Pound.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When he had, Daz, you know what I'm saying? He had, he was working with Snoop on behalf of Bow Wow and all that. So that just let me know, like, okay, now JD is, deep in the game. You know what I mean?
Right.
More so than, like, P. Diddy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Shout out Diddy, you know what I'm saying? But... he just went on the Breakfast Club. I'm just like, yeah, man, people scared of you, bro. People scared of P. Diddy, man.
You know who P. Diddy's dad was?
Who?
Frank Lucas's right-hand man. Frank Lucas from,
No.
Look, Google it.
What was it?
American Gangster.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, Frank Lucas's. So, who is it that Frank Lucas looked up to? Who was he?
Bumpy.
Okay,
Johnson.
okay, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Frank Lucas is...
yeah, P. Diddy's dad used to hang around with those guys.
Hold on, but didn't Frank Lucas hire a bunch of his cousins and stuff?
Yeah, but I'm talking about, I'm talking about part of his team.
Okay, right.
He's part of the team.
Yeah, the henchman. You know what I mean? Right.
Yeah.
Trip.
Yeah,
his
man.
dad?
That's why he's like the way he is, bro.
Oh, wow. So he a real New York...
right.
Through and through. Like, you feel me?
Right. Like, a lot of people don't know. Like, some of these rappers, I think people don't understand, like, some people really talk about the shit, and some people really been in the shit.
Right.
He's from Harlem, bro. You know what I mean?
Right. He's from that.
Yeah, he's from that. You know what I'm saying?
And I ain't gonna lie, man, I was a fan. I liked Puff Daddy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's who I fuck. I fuck with Puff Daddy. You know what I mean? But when he became P Diddy and he dropped, that whole run with Usher, I wasn't a big fan of that. But that's just me personally. It ain't about me. You know what I'm saying? Shout out P Diddy. You know what I mean? We love the contributions to the game, man.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. I mean, you need all that in rap, man. Rap can't be just one way. It gotta have different flavors and. Because if it was one way, it'd be boring, right?
Exactly. Exactly. It wouldn't appeal to all. And let's just be real. I mean, the rawest form of music, hip hop, has been at some point. Hip hop was like the biggest genre. If it's still not the biggest,
I believe it's one of the biggest. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it changed so much. The game changed so much. Yeah. So, all right. Last couple questions. Okay. Because I know we over time. That's okay. So Vitamin D, right?
Right.
Seattle hip hop heads. You know what I'm saying? What was their era exactly, and how has that shaped Seattle music as we know it today? Well, I know that's kind of a general question,
right? But... Well, Vitamin is, I believe, it's part of Tribal Productions.
Okay, yeah. Tribal, yeah.
So I think they have.
So Tribal was a record label.
More of a crew.
It was just a crew, not even a collective, just a crew of cats.
Yeah, it might have been a collective. I'm not quite sure.
Right.
But Vitamin D, I think he tried to create a Seattle sound that didn't sound like anybody else.
Okay.
Seattle doesn't have a definite sound.
Right.
And I think that's what he was trying to do. Create a definite sound.
Right.
So we don't sound like East. We don't sound like West.
We know what New York sound like.
Yeah, we know what
Atlanta sound
like. You hear a song from Houston, you be like, oh, okay, that's from Houston.
Right.
But if you hear it from Seattle, you can't say, oh, shit, that's from Seattle.
Listen, I can almost tell you, oh, he's from L.A.
Right.
Without him having to say L.A.
Or you could Bay or whatever.
Right.
The beat, the way he raps.
Exactly.
Certain slang he says.
Right.
So I think he was trying to create a Seattle sound.
Okay.
But in doing that, he made some dope-ass music.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think Tribal was probably on their way to blowing up.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying?
So was Tribal a bunch of artists?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
So it was like Vitamin, Infinite. Shit, now you got me on the spot again, man. Like I said, they had to do the math, right?
Right.
So yeah, so it was a collective.
Now, was Do the Math just an album, or was it also like a showcase series?
It was just an album.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And that's an album that I bought. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you didn't have no contributions on that?
Nah.
You never spun it you never DJ'd it with the...
Oh, I would DJ, but okay, I'm talking about as far as I didn't do nothing. I wasn't on it per se.
Right, okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so it was just one of those things like Vitamin.
Did you know a lot of guys that were on there personally?
No.
Okay.
At that time, I was out and
about. Now, what generation are you from Vita? You're one above him?
I'm one above him.
Okay.
So I think Vita's in his 40s. I'm in my 50s.
Okay, got you.
So I'm from the DMS era.
Uh-huh.
You ever heard of DMS?
Uh-huh.
Write that down, bro. Right. So DMS is my era. I went to school with those guys. We're all around the same age.
Uh-huh.
They actually got signed by D-Shot, who is E40's brother.
So it's a rap crew?
Yeah, it's a rap crew. So D stands for DL, M for Morchon, S for Sharif. So DMS.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah, and so that's my era. Also, Framework. Do you know Framework?
I'm trying to get Framework on the block, man. If you know Framework, man, call Framework, man.
I'll text him.
Man, text
He's
me like
elusive.
Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson gonna come meet you where you at.
He's elusive, man. He's elusive.
So Framework. So he go back with the Seattle rap shit too.
Oh yeah, man. Yes.
Come on, because I just heard one song from him, and I was just like, bro, I gotta meet this dude.
Bro, when I'm done, I got your number. I'm gonna send you links to his shit, to his first album.
For sure.
So I'm like Framework, DMS, who my homeboy Crafty One. Okay. I'm that generation.
Okay, guys.
You know what I'm saying?
Crafty One.
Yeah, Crafty was dope. You know what I'm saying? That's just all I could think off the top of my head.
Okay.
But I know you can find DMS's catalog and you can find Framework catalog, right? I'm talking about not the new Frame. I'm talking about when he dropped his old thing.
Okay.
And Frame is from the streets, bro. Like, right. Real deal. Like,
right.
You know what I mean?
That's the vibe I got from his music. I'm like, okay, this sound like a nigga that was paying attention up here, though. You feel me?
The shit he rap about, he really was living that. You know what I mean?
So you can tell he's got some intellect. Like,
he's not stupid.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So that's my generation. So the Vitamin D's and them guys are a little after me.
Well, Framework is in the generation above Vita?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So, yeah, because like I said...
So they dropped the Town Heroes project.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he had a song on there that was fire.
Yeah. He's dope. He's nice. Always been nice. You know what I mean? So I'm that generation. But I still rocked with Vitamin D and all those guys back then, man. Because like I'm one of them people. If I go to the record store and you're a local cat, I'll buy it without even listening to it just to show the support of the town.
That part.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I'm the same way. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Like my homeboy RC's after me, even though we're the same age, but he didn't really start making music after me. So RC the Trackaholic, and then I fuck with so many people, man. Like right now, I think I like M. Sherm Beats. I think he's dope. I fuck with Ralphie Davis.
Okay.
I think he's dope. Like I said, I would have to go through my phone and just hit you everybody I'm fucking with. You know what I mean? Right. Because they make good music. Papa Black Da Vinci, I fuck with him.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because they all make good music. Like I said, it's good quality music. Right. You know, of course I fuck with soul. You know, I fuck with Takeover Music Collective.
Right. Big shout out.
Yeah, I think Seven the Panthers, dope. I like Mojo Barnes. Yeah. I'm all over the map with it, bro. I fuck with J Loud. I fuck with Louis. Okay. I fuck with everybody, bro.
Okay, you fuck with A-Son?
Yeah.
Okay, that's my dude.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
So
Dank Zavala, you know, Cool Nuts. I fuck with everybody, man.
So look, when you were coming up, Westlake, 4th and Pine, was that like already a thing for like local music back then, or like was that like a little later? Because when I interview, A-Son, when I interview Rufio, you know what I'm saying, a lot of these guys, you know what I'm saying, have the rap on that, you know what I mean? Westlake, 4th and Pine, you know.
Yeah, I wasn't a Westlake, 4th and Pine guy.
Okay, that wasn't a thing.
That part was, that's downtown. Right. I wasn't a downtown dude. You know what I mean?
Okay, gotcha.
I was a South End dude.
Okay,
I'm from the South End, right?
Right.
And then, like I said, I'm not trying to brag. I've always had a little bit of money in my pocket, bro. So I just didn't go downtown.
Right. No doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
So I mean, when the Sonics left, you were one of the guys throwing tomatoes at the TV.
Yeah, pretty much. You know what I mean? I was at the parade, bro.
Oh,
that's how old I am. Like.
Wow, you was at the Sonics parade when they won.
Yeah, I was 9 years old, 1979.
Oh wow!
I was there.
So where was the parade? It went down what street?
It went down Pine or Pike. It was either Pine or Pike or First Avenue. I can't. I was little.
Right.
But yeah, that shit was lit. Damn. Matter of fact, we didn't even have to go to school that day.
Man, Seattle was like, hey.
Yeah.
That's why I say Seattle cool. The city of Seattle's cool.
Right.
Because, like, the local library has a local music archive. Like, that's just some cool shit.
Right,
you know what I mean?
So, yeah. So, like I said, man, I went down there. And like I said, man, I'm a real Seattle light, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So, you saw the players.
I saw the players, but only that I've seen hip-hop from the beginning. Right. People don't talk about Mix-a-Lot, bro.
Okay, so how do you explain the Sir Mix-a-Lot and Macklemore gap? You know what I mean? Because look, I was interviewing Gabriel Teodros, and I said this to other artists, but he mentioned that there was never this idea that you could blow up out of Seattle. Right. You know what I mean? Would you agree with that?
At one point, yes.
At one point,
but we gotta remember, Sir Mix-a-Lot blew up in the '80s, though.
Right.
So,
and he's still relevant.
Yeah. So he blew up in the '80s, and when he blew up in the '80s. At that time we was 14, so we didn't think about it. But then when he blew up, but we seen it coming, right? I mean, I keep telling these artists this. Sir Mix-a-Lot didn't come out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It wasn't like all of a sudden, who is this motherfucker? Like I tell people, think about it this way: if you drop a pebble in the pond, it's going to ripple out. Mm-hmm. So you got to start. He was already popping in Seattle. Mix-a-Lot was pop, bro. He had mixtapes. He was making songs. Why Do the Rappers Lie? Seven Rainier. And he was a DJ.
He had the gold chains thing going on.
And he was a DJ. So that's how I got the name Mix-a-Lot. He was a DJ.
Right.
So he used to do so Mix-a-Lot used to throw the little dances and shit. Uh-huh. He would rent out halls, rent out dances and slip in his own shit. You know Mix-a-Lot? I don't know him, bro.
Listen, man, I almost opened up for him in Pasadena at the Rose.
Right.
But it just didn't work out, man, because he was doing some stuff down there.
So I don't know him. Uh-huh. I met him when I was little. He probably don't remember who's this little nigga right here. Wow. I met him when I was little. I bought a tape from him when I was little. But even then, he was bubbling. So by the time he cut a deal, he already was seasoned. Right. So if anything else, he knew the people in Seattle or the people in the West Coast was going to fuck with him. Yeah. He knew that. Right? That's why I keep trying to tell people, man, you got to build a name for yourself. People just want to just put out music and they're just going to magically like you.
Right. No, it don't work like that.
Yeah,
man.
You know what I'm saying?
You got to have a hook somewhere in there. You know
I tell people, when's the last time, well, now with digital era, it might be a little different, but When's the last time you just went and bought somebody that you never heard before?
I mean, I can't say like we're connoisseurs like that. Right. You know what I mean? Well, where we just go dibble and right. shit we haven't been
especially when you have
to.
money back there, right?
Right.
You know, you got $20 in your pocket. You gonna, oh shit, I know this. I know Wu-Tang Clan just put out a single. Let me go fuck with it.
Look. Back then, you gonna buy that. You gonna spend your money on the album you know
right.
you want
that you heard before.
Exactly.
Right. You're not just gonna go
experiment with. Nah.
And I keep telling these motherfuckers this, bro. Like that same mentality still works.
Right.
Put out a single, work it. Work the
single.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Throw a show with your own money, right? Because I always tell it's a difference. First of all, you can rent out any fucking place for $300.
Right.
So promote your own shit.
Right.
Right. So throw a show, right? You be the headliner. See how many people show up for you. Then now you're checking the temperature. Did 100 people show up? Did 10 people show up? If 10 people showed up, well, you know what's free like a motherfucker? The social media.
Right.
Get on the social media, work this shit, bro. You know what I mean?
That's how you do it.
You know what I mean? Like I tell people, I make the podcast. Everything I do is for the culture, right? Mm-hmm. But when I put out a mixtape, now people see me on social media. I'm relevant.
Right.
Now that I do a podcast, you know, every week I'm relevant.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
When I do like, it blows my mind how DJs don't promote themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know, if I'm somewhere tonight, right? Mm-hmm. The reason why I'm in Seattle because I'm DJing tonight. I only posted it twice. I did it a week ago, and I did it today. Even if you don't go, you'll be like, "Oh shit, Peg somewhere tonight."
Right.
You know, I stay in people's ears, man. That's what you got to do because you don't have a machine, you don't have a marketing team,
right?
You don't have a promo team,
exactly.
You ain't got a manager, you ain't got a PR, you ain't got none of that shit,
right?
So you better figure it out.
So I mean, you know, artists need to realize what it takes, man. And like even right here, I'll be doing Seattle music scene stuff from right here,
right?
And you know, I find myself like, look, if this is really gonna be so, I gotta like schedule this shit out.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? I can't be right here every day editing a video. You know what I mean? It's just not conducive. You know what I mean?
Right.
I gotta like take some time, create some blocks of content, schedule some shit. Okay, while that's doing this thing, I can make phone calls over here, correspond, follow up. Yeah. You know. You gotta wear different hats.
You know what
I mean? Listen, I do on-call dishwashing, courier, and magazine music podcast. You know what I mean? All at the same table. You know what I mean?
But what you're doing though, like you said, you're creating the content, you're creating something, right?
Right.
And then eventually it'll pop. If it doesn't pop, at least you said, you know what? I did it.
Right.
I tried it.
Exactly.
And then just have it for the right reason.
Right.
I know a lot of people do a podcast thinking, well, shit, I'm going to do a podcast. I do 5 episodes, and then I'm going to make all this fucking money. Right?
Right. Yeah, I'll be famous in 6 months.
Right. What they don't realize is, first of all, you're not famous, so let's throw that off the table.
Right.
So if Will Smith did a podcast tomorrow, it's going to pop because he's fucking Will Smith.
Right.
But you're not.
Right.
So
they're tuning in to see him.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So first thing you're going to learn is you're going to realize you probably won't even start seeing followers till you get to your 30th episode. Right. And then you got to be consistent. Right.
Exactly.
So I do mine every week. I remember one time I had missed 3 weeks because I switched from one host to the other. I was fucking with one, and it's that whole, so now we're going to start charging you more money.
Right.
Okay, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
I did my homework. I'm going to go over here.
Right.
But then I had to change I had to switch all my podcasts over here.
Right. Now you got to take some formatting. You got to copy and paste
and then I had to erase one off Spotify, add another one, because now you got 2 of the same podcasts on Spotify from 2 different hosts. So I had to do that.
Right.
Then I had to do that for each place I was on.
Right.
So that took about 3 weeks. Right. So, and then even within that 3 weeks, you see my numbers drop.
Exactly.
And I was like, okay, I got to be consistent.
Exactly. You got to have, any interruption. You
right.
know what I'm saying? You see what COVID did to the economy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you shut down the economy, it's going to fuck some shit up for me.
And speaking of that, I started my podcast during the COVID.
Oh, damn.
I wasn't DJing.
Right.
That's a good point, bro. I didn't even think about that.
Oh, wow.
I wasn't DJing. I was sitting at home like, well, shit, fuck it, let's go.
Right. We're gonna maintain relevance.
Right,
you know what
I'm saying? And then when I did that, man, and then like I said, it's bubbling. Right. Before it shut down 3 weeks, man, I was up to 1,000 followers. I know that's not a lot to some people.
Hey, man, it all counts, but it all counts, man.
But then, so I had to start from scratch.
Yeah. But,
I already got in my head. So I wrote down I think things out. I wrote down on a piece of paper. I said, I'm going to do 208 episodes. Now, why 208 episodes? Because that's 4 years of content. If there's 52 weeks in a year,
that's what you call preparation.
Right. So I already said, and I already wrote down 208 names of people I want to do. Of course, more people get added on to that list, right? But I already know that. I know these 200.
Pre-planned.
I know these 200. If I call them and say, "Hey, bro, I need this. Can you do this for me?" They're gonna do it,
right?
Because I've always been a good dude. I've always looked out for people, right? But as that happens, people call me and say, "Can I get on your podcast?" Yeah, sure. I get some people that, "Hey, can you get on my podcast?" and they ghosted me. That's okay.
Right.
I don't even get mad about that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because the goal is to be so goddamn good they can't ignore you.
Exactly. So if they drop the ball, then just take it as like, all right, well.
And when they call me, I'll still put them on the podcast.
Right.
You know?
See, you got a mentorship program, bro? Because there's certain dudes I'm just like, I feel in my heart, I'm just like, yeah, don't ask me for an interview.
No, I still put them on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I still put them on because, like I said, I do it for the culture, man. I do it to bring exposure to Northwest artists.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Look, bro, I'm not worried about none of that.
Yeah.
I'm good over here.
Right.
So I ain't worried about none of that.
Well, yeah. So for me, man, it's just, I've always been, just foster kid, just trying to figure out how to be a staple in the community, and sometimes when I was doing it in Pasadena, I had this movement called Bringing It Together,
right?
And it was basically about bringing artists together to take photos,
right?
Well, these artists didn't always all energy don't mix.
It don't, bro.
You know what I mean? And that's just one thing I had to learn the hard way. Yeah. But listen, we way over time. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
Cool, bro.
DJ Peg, thanks for coming through for this exclusive.
On,
you know
man.
what I'm saying? It's been awesome. I still got more questions, but we go, do a part 2.
We can do a part 2, bro.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and hit people where they can find you, and then if you got any shout outs.
Okay, real easy. DJPeg206.net. Everything I do, DJPeg206. That's my Twitter. That's my Instagram. That's my Facebook. That's called Consistent Identity, people. Make it easy to find you.
Right.
Man, as far as shout outs, man, to all my artists and DJs, producers, promoters from the Northwest. I don't even want to name you guys because I'm going to forget somebody. But you all know I fuck with you and I rock with you. And that's about it, man. Oh, check out the Fresh Out the Northwest podcast. It's everywhere. If you really want to find it, make it easy for you. Once again, DJPeg206.net. And then from there, you can go to wherever you stream your favorite podcast at. It's that easy.
If they want the Fresh Out the Northwest hats,
DJPeg206.net.
I'm
making it easy.
Come on, man. Simplify the process for the people.
And I'm saying this now on the air. I got a hat for you, bro. So
for sure. Good looking.
Come get one. Yep.
Solid.
Yep. So, yeah, man. No Once again, thank you, bro.
Yes, sir.
This was fun. We got to come back.
Man, all the time, man. Listen, every artist that come on the platform, they enjoy themselves. You know what I mean? Because people, we get to talk about, people get to share their story and their words, man. This is what I'm saying. Look, this is more, what I'm trying to do is more than just a podcast. It's more like a community service. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do it for the culture. You know what I'm saying? What I do has an esteem effect.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? On the guests. You know what I'm saying? It helps build the esteem. I like to talk about, that's why I got to do some more homework because my questions would have been a lot more specific. You know what I mean?
It's all a learning bro, I'm telling you, man, come on, man, I fucks with you, man. It's all a learning process. You know what I mean?
Let's go. Yep. So, hopefully, man, y'all see me on, Fresh Out the Northwest podcast soon. You know what I'm saying? If he don't schedule me, man, I'm going to be hitting him up.
No, man, we're going to talk about it when we get off the air.
For sure.
Yep.
All right, man, DJ Peg 206, you know what I'm saying?
All right,
Wilson Block of Thou Wow, we out.
All right, peace.